I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this yet, so this is definitely not the easiest way. But I recorded myself playing GeoGuessr a few days ago. Normally I don't record it, but I turned the screen recording on for this one because I had a good feeling about it, and I got a perfect score. So I just want to go over what I did and show you how I did it, including the horrible, horrible mistakes I made. Even though I ended up with a perfect score, it took me an hour. I spent 40 minutes on round four, which I'm gonna have to speed up because I just spent so much time doing stupid things. So I'll just record the voiceover and you'll get to hear my thought process while I was doing the game. But of course, I know what I did already and I know where these locations are. So this is the first location we got, and this was one of the easy ones. So sea life, Great Yarmouth is already on the sign. I can tell that we're in the UK just from what it looks like. I recognize the disabled parking spots. That's the way that they're marked off. That's what they're like in the UK. So all I had to do was find Great Yarmouth. Didn't know exactly where it was, but I also, you could just see me lining up the camera earlier to figure out the angle of the coastline. So I kind of knew what the coastline looked like in this location. I had a sense that it was in somewhere in the southeast of England. So I started looking around until I found Great Yarmouth, which didn't take very long. And then I just had to find the Sea Life Aquarium, which again didn't take very long. So this was definitely an easy start. And it wasn't necessarily the most fun round because it was so easy. I kind of do like it better when it's a bit of a challenge. Yeah, just there it is. There's Sea Life. And I just tried to figure out where we were. We were kind of near the edge of the building there. So I tried to get as close as possible. Just put the pin down. And I don't know why I'm looking around here. I think I just wanted to make sure that everything else was also where it should be, lining myself up with the building across the street. So I decided here to move over a bit because it looked like I was closer to the park. But yeah, I got 5,000 points. So this next round, first impression was this is India. I recognized the words Andhra Pradesh. I don't know how to pronounce it. I wasn't quite sure if it was a city or a region or what. So I looked around a bit more at all the signs, but I mean, signs are in English. It looks like India. I was pretty certain that we were in India. I noticed on this Andhra Pradesh police sign that I'll probably zoom back in on it later. There are a few other indications of what the name of the city could be. I got very distracted by that fish statue along the coast. Um, what I'm doing here, I think, at this point, is lining up the coast. So you can see I've got the compass set so that south is pointing up, just to kind of get a sense of the angle of the coast. Um, so I knew where in India I needed to be looking. So here I did this. I'm just this usually takes me a while. I get confused between east and west a lot. So if you see me turning things around, that's just me trying to angle myself up. So here, again, just trying to figure out the coast angle. Um, I don't know why I took a break here, apparently. So this took a bit longer. And now I'm starting to look along the coast where the angle lines up with what I'm looking for. But I'm going back to the sign here because it says VSP City on the sign. I'll go back to that later. And then there's also Arcade Township on this sign. I don't know what that is. So I wanted to have a really good look around for as many clues as possible for the city where I could possibly be. Because India is a big country and I didn't really want to have to search along the entire coast. Here I was briefly looking at Sri Lanka. But here I'm just scrolling around the coast, and I noticed this city. I don't know how to pronounce it. Visakhapatnam. Um, and I thought that was a good contender because, and I don't know if I'm going back to it now. Yeah, it says VSP City on this sign, and I thought that VSP could be short for Visakhapatnam. Um, so I zoomed in just to sort of figure out if it could be. There's a beach, there's a long straight beach, which again looks like where we are now. So it is looking good so far. It's funny, by the way, that the first two rounds were just right along the beach, because the one in Great Yarmouth Sea Life was also along the beach. And now I left the city to look around a bit more because I wanted to be sure. And I'm also still looking for the words Andhra Pradesh. Um, I think actually I already saw it in scrolling by at some point, but I just didn't notice it at the time. I will find it eventually. So this is just me scrolling around and getting very turned around. There I see it, Andhra Pradesh, and I didn't notice it while I was doing it. It's the name of the province, district, province, I think. What does India have? Does India have provinces? Um, but yeah, here I got completely lost. I'm looking along the wrong coast where the angle doesn't even match up. And finally, I noticed Andhra Pradesh and confirmed that um, VSP city is what I'm just going to call it, is in this region. So that seems to match up. And now I'm certain of the city, and we're going to go figure out exactly where in the city we are. So I'm going to look around a bit more. Looking at the buildings here, there's something called Barista and Tea Trails Cafe. There's that Arcade Township, which I don't know if it's going to be useful. And then we're right at the beach. Can't really read what's on that sign. And this is a very, very, very straight long road right along the beach. So I need to find this road, and then I guess I need to find this intersection. And possibly the easiest way to do that is by just looking for the names of the restaurants. I was zooming in the distance there because sometimes it can be helpful if you see the city center. But I think because we're along the coast, it's a little bit foggy, so you can't really see very far, so you can't see where the tall buildings are. Um, so I just went along and looked at the beach, and I started looking at Yarada Beach and tried to find this road, but the roads alongside this beach don't seem to quite match up with where we are. We're not at that big, long, straight boulevard. There is a kind of straight line right along the beach, but it doesn't have that grid like structure coming off it, where we're clearly in like a grid. In a location where the streets form a grid, and Yarada Beach doesn't have that. So here I thought maybe there's a second beach, and there is another beach here, but this also doesn't have that long boulevard line um, like lining up with it. So I scrolled around a bit more until eventually I do find the beach. It's going to take me a while. I can tell you now we're in the right city. I just wasn't at the right beach. So here, PKB Lighthouse Beach. So it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe I will zoom in, but you do see a lighthouse in the distance, just next to where we are. So when I realized that, I started looking more closely at there. I just pointed at the lighthouse. There are multiple lighthouses on the map. There's also Dolphin's Nose Lighthouse. And here I found another very long beach. And this beach does have a boulevard next to it and a lighthouse next to it. So this is looking good. The street grid matches up. Now I just need to find the right intersection. And that does have several roads coming off it. So I'm just moving around a bit. There's also a submarine museum, which I don't see the submarine museum on the, like, just looking at it. It is on the map, but of course, I don't know. It might be quite low. It might be on the beach itself, just below view. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to find these different buildings. Um, can't quite figure out where we are. It doesn't seem to have this bus station situation that's on the map there. I don't think that's where we are. It really is just a very straight stretch of apparently it's called Beach Road. I'm now noticing that it says RK Beach Road, so that's where that RK from the sign comes in. But I ended up not even using that RK Township clue. So now I'm looking at the buildings. There's Spencer's on one side, Tea Trails, Barista on the other side. So if you zoom in far enough, you can usually see the shops that have been registered in Google. And there's Barista and Spencer's right next to it. So here's our intersection. And I'm just going to do a bit of double checking that yes, that's definitely Spencer's next to it. That's definitely Barista. And we're right at the bottom of this road. So there we go, another perfect round. Round 3. This one was a bit harder, but I had fun with this. There weren't a lot of clues. There's this anchor on a little roundabout. There's a sign that's from the angle where we are is impossible to read. And this sign seems to be in Spanish. It doesn't really tell us the place. Something protection, installation, ports. We do seem to be at a port just from what it looks like and the anchor statue. There's another sign here. This has a bit more info. It has the name Salina Cruz on it, but then there's a few letters after Salina Cruz that I can't read, and it was very frustrating because I thought that was going to be a big clue, and I think I know what it says now that I know where we are. But yeah, that sign, I'm going to go back to it a couple of times because it really is the only useful sign here. Just looking at the dog, looking around. I mean, there isn't that much to go on here. The sign, the first sign I saw, and the second sign as well, they both seem to be in Spanish, but the problem with realizing you're in a Spanish-speaking country is that doesn't quite narrow it down. There are a lot of Spanish-speaking countries. At this point, I was trying to figure out which continent we were on, and I did that by looking at the shadows of those 3 pipes. So I'm lining up the compass and I'm looking at where the sun is coming from and where how the shadows are cast. Now it looks from turning around that the shadows are cast by a sun in the south, which means that we're in the northern hemisphere, which is good because that rules out a lot of Spanish-speaking countries. So I went back to this sign. I'm trying to read what it says there. I can't read it. And then I noticed it said Pemex at the top there, and I thought, Mex. It could be Mexico. It could be the name of a company in Mexico. So I'm looking around a bit, trying to see what the surroundings look like, and trying to figure out, I think I'm trying to figure out where the sea is. So the sea is in that direction, because this is going to tell me which coastline of Mexico to start searching for. So again, turning around a bit, there's hills in the distance, so this is definitely land over there, and I don't see anything there, so that's probably where the sea is. So the sea is kind of to the, sort of to the south. Just reading a couple of other signs here. Don't know what I'm doing, looking at sometimes I just get distracted by details, because the reason I started playing GeoGuessr so much is because I can't travel, and then I get to look around. Going back to the sign, so Salina Cruz is what we're looking for, and we were looking in Mexico along the south coast because the sea was along the south. And I think I got lucky quite quickly. There it is. There's Salina Cruz. So I found the town, and now I need to find the port area. So the port of Salina Cruz is quite big. So it will take me a while to actually find the correct intersection. So here I found Pemex. Pemex, that is exactly the sign that I saw. So very confident that I'm in the right port, but where in the port am I? This is a huge port. Um, there's lots of little intersections, and some of them are like 90-degree intersections. Some streets are at an angle. I'm kind of hoping that the anchor statue is somehow visible on the map. I don't know how, like maybe it's mentioned as a minor site in this very industrial area. Um, but I also noticed that some roads are marked as having a median in between, so a little double, it's like a double road, and other roads are just smaller singular roads. Though there is this little patch of grass, I'm going to turn around, this patch of grass next to where we're standing that looks like it kind of suggests that this is one of those bigger roads. Um, but then this is the only intersection that I can find that has this little roundabout on it. So I thought that could be maybe the the anchor, and then that road would be coming off of it over there, but then that straight line that would go, that would be that. And it looks much more like a road on the map than it does in the photo. In the photo, it just looks like the street ends on that side of the roundabout. So, and also the buildings, they don't quite seem to be where I expect them to be, but they're clearly also doing a bit of construction. So I'm not I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about where the buildings are, because some of those buildings might be temporary and then they just don't show up in the right place in the map. Um, very confident that I am in the right port. Again, oh, Terminal Salina Cruz, I found it there. That was on the sign, so that's definitely where we are. I was wondering if maybe that sign was the name of one of the companies there that might also be on the map. But it's really hard. Again, this here I'm zooming in again on one of the roads that's has a little traffic island, I guess, in the middle, but it's not the circular roundabout that we're next to. That's very much a circle. So this is going to take me a while. I don't know exactly how long. I might speed this up. So back to the little roundabout. And at this point, I'm thinking I'm just going to have to call it. This is the problem with being on round 3. I don't want, at this point, I don't want to guess. If I've had 2 perfect rounds, I want round 3 to be perfect as well. So, and I know I'm in the right port. I just need to find the right intersection. And I think what makes this round so difficult is that these are probably, a lot of these roads are private roads that belong to the port or the companies that are based there, and it doesn't necessarily show up on the map the way that it would in real life, because some of those aren't real roads. They're like just the entryway to a parking lot or something. So I'm really still struggling here to find this intersection. There should be another little side street over there, but again, that is that a real street or is that just the entrance to something? That's what makes this so hard to figure out. And this round wasn't so bad. It's the next round where it just the next round, round 4, I really am going to have to speed up because that round took me 40 minutes, and this one I'm almost there. I'm just trying to find the intersection. I definitely at some point had narrowed it down to one of three intersections. That was the other possibility. And here I'm back at this one. Now this is close enough to water to make sense. Like I can see water from where we are. This would be the right distance. There is something in the distance across from the water, which I'm going to turn around and look at that. Like, yes, the little town over there. It's not too far away, and it does look like it could be this. Like this really matches what we're seeing. The only reason that I haven't been sure about this area is that on the map, that roundabout looks pretty significant, but then it's just this. It looks so unimportant. It doesn't look like a major roundabout, but I guessed it, and because I don't want to pay for GeoGuessr to prevent myself from spending too much time on it, I had to wait for the ads, and it was correct. 11 yards. So it was the roundabout that we found ages ago. Now here, this is the dreadful round. My initial impression here is Europe, Southern Europe. It looked like places I'd been in Southern Europe, like somewhere along the Mediterranean coast. That fort looks pretty Southern European. There's an English sign saying diving, and then a sign that's very hard to read. And it looks to me on first read that it said something like Club de Villa de la Bonne. That's what I thought it said. And I knew that I couldn't see the letters properly. Looking around, there seems to be a town in the distance there with some old buildings, lots of sailboats, palm trees. That English sign diving suggests that we're in a touristy area. The coast looks really interesting over here, but there aren't many other signs. There's the sign that says diving, and then there's the sign on the garage door that's really hard to read. I don't know what I'm trying to look at here, just seeing more of the town, of the types of buildings. I mean, my first impression here was Southern Europe, and let's remember that while I make so many mistakes in this round. I'm also going to zoom in on the cars for a bit. So there is some text on the van, which is also hard to read. I think the text on the van is the same as the text on the garage door. And I will point to it with the cursor at some point, but that car that's kind of facing us, that little grey car with the black roof, it looks like the license plate has a little blue sign next to it, which means that it's a car in the European Union. European Union countries have that little blue thing next to the license plate. So again, a big suggestion. Here we are. Here it's me pointing to the license plate. So a European car cannot go that far. Sorry, that rhymes. It's probably Europe, and if it's not Europe, it's somewhere that you could easily take a car that's registered in the EU. Let's remember that. And now I'm still looking around, thinking about where could this be, because it doesn't have to be Europe. It could be many other places, and for some reason, I also thought it could be the Canary Islands. And the reason I thought that is it looks warm, it has palm trees, looks like maybe a Spanish sign, touristy. It is kind of European, but I don't know. I started looking in Spain here because I thought the sign was Spanish, but it doesn't, again, it doesn't have to be Spanish, because it looked like just a name of something, and the word villa, or it looked like it. I'm going to go back to this sign many times, but it looked like villa was spelled with one L and not two, and that just, yeah, now we're looking at Tenerife, because I don't know. I think at this point I was thinking touristy. The other major clue I had, and the one that I did manage to stick to, is the angle of the coast. So I didn't look around every island. I did stick to like this angle that matched how the coast was lined up. But I was feeling a little bit desperate at this point because how? How could I ever find this place if I didn't even know which country it was in? So I'm probably going to speed this bit up, but I'm just spending a lot of time looking at the Canary Islands, and I don't know. it's I'm looking at the door again because I saw that island called Lobos, and I wanted to make sure that this maybe it said Lobos on the door. It was really hard to read, but I don't think it did, and I think it's LA something, and I thought La Bonne is still what I thought at this point. If you can read it, if you figured it out, it definitely there is enough information here to figure it out. And it took me very, very, very long to put it all together. Um, and in the process of putting it all together, I make some very stupid mistakes. I think looking at the Canary Islands is not the worst thing I've done in this round, so this is not yet the part I'm embarrassed about. That's coming soon. The other thing I was looking for always when I was zooming in is that fort that we're next to. We're clearly next to a fort. That's the kind of thing that you put on the map. There's a fort on a beach next to two piers, and wherever we are, that would be obvious. That looked promising. So it's got a little castle there and a little sticking out bit, but then it also has a huge arena or auditorium, so that's clearly not where we are. So we're on Madeira now, which is Portuguese and not Spanish, but I did I did consider that from what I could read on the sign, it could be Portuguese, it could be Spanish. I'm going to consider Italian at some point. So we're looking at Ibiza now. I don't know much about Ibiza, but from what I know, it's extremely touristy, and this location where we are looks a bit calmer. It didn't feel like Ibiza. Like here, look how built up this is. It's not that's not where we are. There's way too many things here. Is this where I go to Italy? Oh, I'm checking out Malta now. I don't know. It doesn't look like Malta. It's not. It's. I think I realized that quite quickly. Um, Considering Italy, because like I said, the sign on the gate or on the garage door is so hard to read. It could be Italian. Why am I in Tunisia now? Because I vaguely remember that there are a few Spanish enclaves along the coast of northern Africa. I couldn't find them here. I did find one eventually, I think. I'll zoom in on it. So, that again, that's not the stupidest thing I've done. We're going to do some more very stupid things. It's not Benidorm. It's not. It's just not. What am I doing? Okay, we're now is where it gets embarrassing. I decided that maybe we were not in Europe at all. Maybe we were in Central America? Who knows? Why? I'm looking at Nicaragua here. Cuba. What is happening? Why? Why? Just why? I when I thought about this later, I thought, "Oh, it's because on the garage door I thought that that was maybe a country that ended in G. But I'm not looking at the garage door now. Oh, I'm just turning around and looking at it. Right. Looking at the door, and looking at this web address, it could be .org or it could be .ng, .mg. And then I thought, well, NG could be Nicaragua. It's not. It's not. I just, yeah. This is just so embarrassing. And this whole time I knew I was doing stupid things, which is why I'm not picking a point and I'm not making my choice. I know it's wrong. This whole time I know it's wrong. So, where are we? Are we in Nicaragua now? Looking at the coast, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look like where we are at all. This is completely wrong. It's clearly not, like the angle of the coastline doesn't even match where we are. And Nicaragua's web extension is not NG. And I know that. And I knew that then. Looking again, just in case, it's not. We're not in Nicaragua. Like nothing about this. This is Europe. My first impression was Europe. There is a car with an EU license plate. We are in Europe or close to Europe. It's I just saw the cat walking outside. So I'm looking around again for any other clues that may have appeared since the last time I looked at this. Trying to read the van. Does the flag on the van mean anything? I don't know. Also, I'm looking around for flags in general now, I think, and there are no visible flags, which again is a big clue to it being in Europe because most of Europe does not really have the country's flags on random locations. It would be on government buildings, but not like here at a coastal town. You wouldn't really expect there to be a flag. So I'm looking at this web extension again, NG. Is this when I'm doing the stupid thing? NG. Where are we looking now? Yes. Oh no. Is it happening? No. No. Are we going back to the Caribbean? Oh, I'm looking for some more islands in the Atlantic. It's it's not here. Oh yeah, the Azores. I forgot to look at the Azores earlier. But it's not, that's not where we are. At this point, I've looked at the entire Spanish Mediterranean coast and I just won't give up. Oh, yeah, here is where I found one of the Spanish enclaves in Africa, so I'm having a quick look there. Um, because they do, the ones that I've seen before on GeoGuessr, they do have forts that kind of look like this. So it didn't seem impossible. And we're still on the Mediterranean coast, which it gave me that general Mediterranean coast vibe. Again, why I started looking in the Canary Islands, I will never understand, but still is not the worst. It's not the worst that I'm going to do in this round. The worst is when I'm so close to the correct location and then end up in the wrong continent again. This is just excruciating and painful. It's not the Canary Islands and it's not Spain. And I really should know by now where it is. But just wait for me to do the most stupid thing. Right, I'm looking at this door again, and I think this is the point where I am considering that NG is, of course, not Nicaragua. The NG web extension is Nigeria. And the sign also, maybe it doesn't say Labon, maybe it says Lagos, which is a city in Nigeria. So I think this is the point where I somehow am thinking Nigeria when of course, it's not. Like, look at this. This is Europe. We are in Europe. And yeah, oh god, the stupidest thing. If you're better at geography than I am, you'll immediately know what went wrong here, and you have figured out ages ago where I am. But here's me looking at Lagos, Nigeria, where first of all, look at the coast. It's not the wrong it's the wrong angle. We're not here. There is the, the geography is completely wrong. Still, I'm zooming in and seeing if maybe there is a feature like this there. There's not. The other thing is, we're not outside a huge city. We're outside maybe a small city, a big town. Lagos is a massive, massive city. We are not outside of a massive, massive city here. This is not it. This is just not it. Why? Why are we in Nigeria? We are in Nigeria because I thought the web address maybe said .ng and the sign on the door maybe said Lagos. Oh god, when am I going to realize? I realized way, way, way too late what was going on. Still, I want to show this because it's kind of funny. When you find the correct location, this detour in Nigeria is understandable is maybe a big word, but yeah. We'll figure it out. I'm going to find the correct location and feel like the biggest idiot. What am I looking at here? I don't know. Um, Looking at the building again, maybe a clue has popped up that I wasn't there before. Looking at the sign again, I don't know. We're not in Lagos, Nigeria. But then, where are we? It's pretty obvious in hindsight. It's pretty obvious too if you're familiar with all the southern European cities. I'm just because I know how much I spent on the last round. I know that's still gonna take me a few minutes. Oh, we're in Madagascar now. Why? Why though? Why did I? Why? This is not. Why did I think we were in Africa? Anyway, just looking at Madagascar, where none of the coastline features match up with where we are. That's not it. What's I'm this is not even the right hemisphere. What is happening? Oh, are we maybe in Mozambique? Mozambique is French. The sign could be French. No, we're not in Mozambique. What is happening? And it's going to take me so long. It's oh gosh. Oh. So to recap, we have looked along the Mediterranean coast in both southern Europe and North Africa. We have looked at the Canary Islands 50 million times. We went to Nicaragua. We went to Nigeria. Oh, are we back in the Canary Islands? Fun. It's not there. And I have not yet, not once, looked at the correct country. I think we were in, at least, like, I have looked at the correct country, but not the correct place, I think. I'll find it, don't worry. We've been in Italy and Malta, and all these countries were wrong. Tunisia. It's not there. It's just not there. Have I zoomed in on the French Mediterranean coast yet? Because that's going to happen. I wish I could see more of what's inside of the fort. That looks really cool though. Oh, is this is where we're going to France? We're now looking at the French coast. I hadn't really been there yet, but just in case the sign is French. None of these coastlines match up though. They're all the wrong angle, or I know it's not Cannes. I know it's not Nice. I know what that looks like, and that's not where we are. No, it's not Corsica. No, it's not Sardinia. It's not here. It's not here. There is a place that I haven't zoomed in on at all yet, and we're going there. We're going to southern Portugal, and look what's here: Lagos, Lagos, Portugal. It's just so embarrassing. I should have known. I knew there was a Lagos in Portugal. Why didn't I piece this together the moment I realized maybe the sign says Lagos? Why did I go to Nigeria? This is clearly where we are. Look, it's the pier. It's the pier. It's the fort. Forte da Ponta de Bandeira. It's the fort. And that's the pier. This is it. This is the pier. We're here. We're in Lagos, Portugal. I don't know. I'm just zooming in on different sites. I don't know why. It's clearly there. And now I'm just looking for the Club de Villa de Lagos, because it clearly does say Lagos. And look, look, look. Vela. It didn't say Villa. Club de Vela de Lagos. That's it. That's it. It's the Lagos Sailing School in Portugal. That's why it says club with an E. It's not Spanish, it's Portuguese. That's why it says Lagos. It's not Nigeria, it's Portugal. And it took me 40 minutes to even look at the Portuguese coast. And nowhere, at no point, not when I was in Madeira, considering that it was Portuguese, not when I was in Nigeria, considering that it maybe said Lagos, at no point did I think to look in South Portugal, and I just don't know why I was so stupid. But yeah, this is it. This is the location. And now, because I don't want to lose even a single point on this terrible round, I spent some time on it and I got it. I got 5,000 points and it took me ages. But then I got round 5 and it was the best present because look at this sign. We're in Manila. It just tells us on the sign we're outside a church in Manila. It has the name of the church on it. This is going to be so easy. I think it took me a minute or so to find this. Just find Manila, find the church. That's it. It's so easy compared to the last round in particular. I mean, this one and the first round in Great Yarmouth were just, they were so nice. They were so easy to do. But look, there it is: Minor Basilica and National Shrine. And the neighborhood is Binondo. That's it. That's the church. We're here. We're standing south of the church according to the compass. So I just need to zoom in, and I think I don't know why it stopped here. I think this is when I stepped away from the computer with just like seconds left in this entire GeoGuessr game. Don't worry, I'm going to come back. I'm going to zoom in and then we'll get this round. Um yeah, this was incredibly the previous round was the most frustrating. This round was really nice. The first round was really nice, very easy. Round two was, what was round two again? Oh yeah, that was India, and round three was Mexico. Round two and three I enjoyed the most because I just had enough legible clues to figure out where we were. um I had a good look around. It was easy-ish to find the right location. That port in Mexico was a bit harder. But then around four, I just the whole situation, not being able to read the sign, not realizing that we were in Portugal, even though I had considered the sign is maybe Portuguese and the sign maybe says Lagos. I looked at like so many countries. I was on the wrong continent so many times. And I was, because it was round 4, I wanted to get it right. Um, and I knew I could. That was a frustrating thing. I knew I could. I just didn't know how long it would take me. And in retrospect, I should have gotten it so much faster. Just waiting for me to step back to the computer and finish this last round, which is super easy. So we're in the right location. We're in Manila, outside the minor basilica and national shrine of San Lorenzo Ruiz. Ah, I'm back. I'm back. Zooming, finding the intersection, and just looking around to see where we are in location to the other buildings. I mean, that's the church. It's very big. Because there's this little triangle situation, but you can't really see that because of a giant fire truck. So I think we're at the top of that triangle. You can tell a little bit from the road markings. I really wish that fire truck wasn't there because that's, yeah, I think that triangle, that traffic island park thingy is right behind the truck. Um and we're maybe halfway there. Did it! So this was incredibly frustrating, but I hope it was at least fun to watch a little bit, and I'll try to do it live, but I've tried that before and I find it really hard to do the commentary while I'm searching because I don't think in sentences, and just the idea that I would have to explain in words every decision I make, because sometimes these decisions are really quick. Um, it's a bit difficult, but yeah, hopefully this was fun.